Yeah, it's Friday. Woo! Hello, hello, everybody. Thank God it's Friday. I might get in trouble for that. You know what? But it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. How y'all doing? I'm trying to put this necklace on real quick here. Let's see if I can do it. Let's see if I could do it. Can I do it? Can I do it? No, it's pretty darn small, this thing. It's got the tiniest little hole. Reminds me of when my grandma used to ask me to thread the needle for her. Any of you have your grandma ask you to thread it? Oh, I got it. Yep, it's because I used to thread my grandma's needle. That's why. Could do it blindfolded. Hi, Bonnie. Good to see you, Benjamin Echo. Oh, man. I'm prepped up, you guys. I got my answers again today. I worked on this. Let's see. I started at 10:30. Study is beginning to be a little more than it was in the beginning because we're getting into the heart of things, which is awesome, and we want that, don't we? We're getting into the Constitution now, so yay us. All right, let me turn off this phone. Okay, so we're on session 10. I don't know what channel you guys are on. I'm running on both Hilltop Workshops and Access Humboldt Unincorporated because I can, because I want to. So, actually I do that because if I go off the rails and I have to delete one of the channels, I want to have it still going on YouTube. But if you want to catch all of the replays of this course, because we're on session 41 now, the best thing for you to do is to just go to the Rumble, to my Rumble channel, because I almost always have success with linking it. I mean, there might be a time or two it didn't link, but I don't think so. I mean, I usually make sure I get this one going. So let me share that real quick. Excuse me, I gotta share it from over here. Yeah. And so I'm running on Rumble. There's not a chat there, so people like to be in YouTube, and I like to accommodate. So we're just all over the place. Also, you can always find me if you don't want to keep, trying to figure out what channel to be on. If you just go to the Stand Up Humboldt .news homepage, then check it out. I'm right there. I'm streaming right now. I'm live on it. I'm on Twitch. So it's always on this homepage. And that is also where this study is that we're doing today. It's under the Constitution study. So here we are. And I always encourage people to get their own kit. There's 2 links here for you to find it. But if you cannot, then you could just follow along with me. And I'm uploading these. I'm just learning this. So if you come here with high expectations of a teacher, you are in the wrong place. There are plenty of people that have taught lots of constitutional things very professionally. I'm not one of them. I mean, I can be professional, but I'm really doing this live and raw so that people could feel welcome to come in and ask questions or get on and talk about these things. Now, if you guys really do have something you want to talk about with the study, let me know, because I haven't been dropping the link because I don't really want to talk about anything but the study. So if you have something you want to discuss about it, just let me know. But other than that, we're going to get right into this. So let me drop this link for you too. All right, y'all got that? Did I make myself clear? I am really just learning this right along too, you guys. So, and if you want the Thank God It's Friday theme song, that's here too. I'll drop that for you, because if you're not Gen X, then you probably don't get it. But that was a great song. It's where TGIF came from, people, okay? All right, so let's get to it. We are in 5 through 9 of session 10. And Dee's got her answers, you guys. I got my answers here. So we're gonna rip through this. The last part of this, there are only 4 questions, but they're pretty extensive, particularly the last question. And that is really gonna be, I'll highlight some of these. It wants us to become so familiar that we could participate in a Name That Founder quiz. It's pages, almost 20 pages of reading. I'm not going to go through all of that, but I'm going to ask you to go through them and get familiar. I'll highlight a few of the notable personalities who attended it, but they want us to become very familiar with those, and we just don't have time for that today. But we're on question 5. Let me make sure I'm still sharing. Okay, good. We're on question 5. Describe the attempts made from 1782 to 1785 to persuade the American states to meet in convention to strengthen the national government. And the answer is on page 134 for us. So we're gonna, let me get another one open here. I bet. Let's see. Let's get another page open with the pages. So one will have the questions and the other will have the pages that I'm reading from. You got it? You get it? Good. Get it? Got it? Good. All right, I just included this first page for you so you could have the whole chapter. Actually, the first and last page weren't really included in our answers today, but if you're like me, you might prefer to have entire context, so I put that in there for you. And these pages will be up until Monday when the new page and the new study gets put up. I'd like to get ahead of it. I don't see it happening just yet. So we got to just roll with what I'm able to do right now. This is the best I can do. Soon I will get ahead of it. I'd like us to get ahead of it, but things are just starting to calm down now for me. So I got my garden in and all those things, but you know. Okay, let me get these close together and this over here. We don't need Rumble on. There we go. Okay, I'll get the answers and then I'll go read through some of it. But the answers I had written down for number 5 are in 1782 and 83. Hamilton had, whoopsie D. You got a little excitable. I hit the keyboard with my book. All right. So here we see the answer. In 1782, Alexander Hamilton succeeded in getting his own New York to pass a resolution calling for constitutional convention, but no other state would support it. In 83, he was elected to Congress. He immediately campaigned for a constitutional convention, but the rest of Congress ignored him. When Washington discovered some of his officers were planning to abandon the Articles and set up a monarchy with Washington as ruler, he vehemently denounced the plot and sent a letter to every state in the Union, pleading with them to call a convention as soon as possible. Nothing happened. Finally, he could endure it no more, that is Washington. He decided to start at the bottom and work up. His own state of Virginia was quarreling bitterly with Maryland over fishing rights in the Potomac and in Chesapeake Bay. Washington therefore took the initiative on March 28, 1785, to invite these 2 states to send delegates to meet with him at Mount Vernon and sip a little something on the back porch while they worked out their problems. The results were spectacular. A compact was written and ratified by both states. Maryland was so pleased with the new cordial relations that her legislatures recommended that Virginia, as the largest state in the Union, take the initiative to propose to Congress that all the states be called to a trade conference so they could work out their mutual problems at the same time. And that's going to get into the next question. Tell of the trade conference at Annapolis and how it provided the momentum for a larger convention. The trade conference met at Annapolis during September 1786, but delegates were sent out from only 5 states. 2 of the youngest members, Hamilton and Madison, took the lead in persuading the delegates that nothing could be accomplished without a quorum. It was agreed they should unite effectively campaign for a constitutional convention and settle their political differences as well as their trade problems. Hamilton therefore drafted a report to Congress proposing that all 13 states choose delegates to meet in a special convention to devise such further provisions as shall appear to them necessary to render the Constitution of the federal government, the Articles of Confederation, adequate to the exigencies of the Union. Congress dallied. In fact, it had been suffering from an inferiority complex, that there was seldom a quorum present to do business. Finally, on February 21st, 1787, the Congress officially extended an invitation to the several states to send special delegates to Philadelphia. On May 14th, just 4 months later, Congress said the convention was for the sole and express purpose of revising the Articles of Confederation, thereby rendering the federal Constitution adequate to the exigencies of government and the preservation of the Union. Little did Congress expect that before it was through, this convocation of delegates would come up with a whole new system of government under a completely unique constitution. And what prevented Washington from going, that was the second question? No, wait. No, we're in the number 7. Sorry. It's on the next page. How many states and delegates finally participated at the opening of the Constitutional Convention? What circumstances almost prevented George Washington from attending? Okay, so it says here, let me get to my book because I got my notes underlined here. We start to not have to read all the way through, but in some cases we do. Calling the convention. Okay. It was fortunate indeed that each of the states sent some of its most astounding leaders to this convention. Only Rhode Island, you losers, failed to send delegates. The political leaders of that state. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Trying to remain objective right here. They wanted to remain completely independent of the other states and certainly had no intention of consenting to a stronger central government. I actually do admire that a lot. So, the other states began recalling this maverick sister state, Rogue Island. 13 businessmen from Rhode Island sent a letter to the convention apologizing for the behavior of their obstreperous leaders. Yeah, it's not very diplomatic. You know, you gotta take part. You would never be defended with the homeland. Was Rhode Island going to defend itself against Britain? I don't think so. Okay, so George Washington, who had pleaded for a convention for so long, almost didn't attend himself. His brother just died. His mother and sister were seriously ill, and he was in such pain from rheumatism he could scarcely sleep at night. Furthermore, the fraternity of the military officers, called the Society of the Cincinnati, had wanted to honor Washington at their convention in Philadelphia during this same period. He had declined because of personal circumstances, and now it would be embarrassing to suddenly show up for another convention. Nevertheless, the general decided to bite the bullet and go. You know, it's just like, what a badass. You know, hobbling in. He hobbled in a sling. He had been carrying one arm in a sling because of the rheumatic pain. He left Mount Vernon at sunrise on May 9th and arrived at Philadelphia the day before the delegates were to convene on May 14th. That's 5 days of traveling. And it says, as it turned out, he need not have hurried. 5 days. Virginia and Pennsylvania were the only 2 states with a quorum of delegates on hand for the opening session. This meant they had to wait for other delegates to arrive. Altogether, 73 delegates had been appointed by the states, but in the end, only 55 actually participated. So that was the answer for Washington. Let's get back to the question here. 8. What 2 important leaders of the day did not attend the convention and why? Describe the varied experience and backgrounds of those who did attend. Okay, so, man, these people were pretty stacked. These people were pretty well stacked. Let's see. Let's see what page they say. 137. Yeah, okay. I mean, I know the answer, but I'm looking for it. Two men who made the greatest contributions to the constitutional precepts of the day were unable to attend. One of them was John Adams, who was serving as the American minister to England. Nevertheless, he had written a treatise entitled A Defense of the Constitutions of Government of the United States, and that document had been widely read by delegates to the Constitutional Convention. He was well represented. The other intellectual leader was Thomas Jefferson. He was absent serving as the American minister to France. However, he had sent over 100 carefully selected books to James Madison and George Wythe, the best reference works available. Madison made himself a walking encyclopedia on the history and political philosophy of governments of the past, and Jefferson corresponded with him on what he considered to be the essential elements of a good constitution. So those are the two that didn't make it, but they sure made sure they were represented, didn't they? A month before the convention, Madison wrote a summary of the weaknesses of the Articles of Confederation entitled The Vices of the Political System of the United States. He then outlined the kind of constitution which he thought would remedy the situation. No one came to the convention better prepared for the task at hand than James Madison. Why? Because he was helped. He had a supporting actor along his side, Thomas Jefferson, who helped him equip. Don't undermine that supporting role. There's a lot of people that want to be in the limelight. They want to be in the spotlight. No one came to the convention better prepared for the task at hand than James Madison. In terms of experience and professional training, the 55 delegates represented a cross-section of the most capable men in the country. And now we'll get into some of their accomplishments. 2 were college presidents, William S. Johnson and Abraham Baldwin. 3 were or had been college professors, George Wythe, James Wilson, and William Houston. George Wythe is the one that I believe it was Thomas Jefferson studied under. We'll get back. We'll find out for sure. Wasn't it him? Wasn't it Jefferson? Was his understudy the most? 4 had studied law in England. 31 were members of the legal profession, several of them being judges. 9 had been born in foreign countries and knew the oppressions of Europe from first-hand experience. 28 had served in Congress, and most of the rest had served in state legislators. And when they say served, it's not like our public officials of today. These people really served. They sacrificed. 19 or more had served in the Army, 17 as officers, and 4 on Washington's staff. Dr. Samuel Eliot Morison of Harvard writes, practically every American who had useful ideas on political science was there except John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. And John Jay was busy with foreign relations of the Confederation. Jefferson contributed indirectly by shipping to Madison and Wythe from Paris sets of Polybius and other ancient publicists who discoursed on the theory of mixed government on which the Constitution was based. The political literature of Greece and Rome was a positive and quickening influence on the convention debates, going back to ancient principles. A distinctive quality of the convention was the youthfulness of most of its participants. The average age was 41. Is that what we consider old white guys? Hamilton was 32. 3 of them, Madison, Gouverneur Morris, and Edmund Randolph, were within a year of being 35 years old. 3 were 55. Only 4 had passed 60. Benjamin Franklin was 81 years old. He was the oldest by a gap of 15 years. 9. Besides Washington, name 13 other notable personalities who attended the convention. Become familiar enough with these men, you could participate in a Name That Founder quiz. All right, now let me see how much time we're at. 20 minutes. Okay, so we're going to see how much we've got. Hey, Willie D. There's another smart one in the chat. You want to hang out with us? Willie D. Who loves you, baby? 13. Yeah, sure. Sure, Bonnie, 13. Yeah, 13 states. That was it, right? That's what you're talking about. All right, we're going to get familiar with these. I'm going to brush through as much as I can with these guys. Again, all the pages are here. You have to click show more for them to upload sometimes, but they are all here. All these pages, they suggest for you to get familiar with them. Look at 138 to 53. So they're here for you. That was a lot of downloading, but we're going to just skim through. I'll tell you what some of the names stick out for me already. What I've learned about some of these people. Of course, James Madison, calling the Constitutional Convention. We're going back here. Okay, so of course, James Madison, Benjamin Franklin was one of the most notable ones. Where's Franklin's page? Uh-oh. Dang it, I'm missing a page. Again, D? Oh, if you didn't push it till the very last minute. Give me 1 second. Let me upload it here. I know it's got to be downloaded. I took the picture. I remember seeing Franklin in there. All right, 1 second, because we got to have this page. This is all about Franklin. He was quite an accomplished man. And it's hard not to set aside some of the mockeries that you hear in your head about like the lightning and kite and all that. And it's like, I just want to learn right now, I don't want to sit here and break down all these conspiracies or whatever, I mean, I don't know. I think just take it for its word right now. And if it bothers me that much to go learn about, this or that, I'll go do it. I'll go deal with it. All right, I got it here. Now let me just slip it in the right place. What number are you? 1, 2, 3. Okay, you're after the third one. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that should do it. All righty. Well, I love to just show how I can pull this off on the fly. All right, let's refresh it. Should be 130. We were looking at 138, and I didn't have it. Well, where are you now? All right. I don't know what happened. Where's all my pages? Okay, 138. We got to look at Franklin. We can. Uh-oh. Dang it, Franklin, you're not there. Dang it, he's not in the right spot. I think it didn't refresh. Let me refresh it. Come on, Franklin. Don't let me down right now, man. There he is. There he is. Okay. Okay. Benjamin Franklin. I love this part here. It says that he had only completed 2 years of formal schooling. But boy, was he regarded as one of the most intelligent and accomplished men. Because he was. I'm skipping all that beginning. I want to get to this part here. He founded and served for many years as president of the American Philosophical Society and developed theories on such diverse phenomena as sunspots, magnetism, earthquakes, the causes of the common cold, and continental drift. He wrote the first scientific description of the Atlantic Gulf Stream and helped organize the first American expedition to the Arctic. Among his many inventions were the Pennsylvania fireplace, later called the Franklin stove, the lightning rod, bifocal eyeglasses, the flexible catheter, daylight savings time, and an unusual musical instrument called the harmonica. Well, where's that thing? It's not the harmonica? And then it goes on to his greatest scientific achievement being in the field of electricity. They considered 18th century scholars regarded Franklin as the Newton of their age. He also became known as Dr. Franklin. He's remembered primarily for his contributions to public life and to the establishment of free government in early America. From early adulthood, he initiated numerous public improvements, including the University of Pennsylvania, the first subscription library in North America, police and fire protection in Philadelphia, and America's first fire insurance company. He was appointed Deputy Postmaster General of the North America in 1753. And of course, we know and learned about how pivotal he was to unite the colonies to provide for a stronger defense during the French and Indian War. Franklin was the only one who signed, wasn't that him? All four. Declaration of Independence, the Treaty of Alliance with France, the Peace Treaty with England, and the Constitution of the United States. That's right here. He did a lot more, and you should read about all the things that he actually did. He was the oldest delegate. He was 81 years old. Yeah, his negotiation. He led the commission assigned to negotiate with Great Britain, and after long and arduous effort, the treaty was signed in Paris, September 3rd, 1783, ending the Revolutionary War and assuring the independence of the United States. This treaty, whose provisions were clearly advantageous to the new nation, has been called the greatest achievement in the history of American diplomacy. Papa Franklin. Madison, another pillar. He was a Virginia planter. He had educational advantages that were excellent, both in depth and breadth. He was a Princeton. He came under the discipline of its president, Reverend John Witherspoon, who primed the scholarly mind of Madison, much as George Wythe had done to Jefferson. Unfortunately, he was frail in health, and the long and intensive studies left their mark. In addition to the usual classics of Greek and Latin, Madison spent a year studying Hebrew in order to better understand the Old Testament. He applied for membership in the state militia, but he was rejected due to physical disabilities. He was appointed a member of the Committee of Public Safety for Orange County, and in 1776 he was elected a delegate to the convention which framed the Constitution of Virginia. There's Randolph. There's Hamilton. Hamilton's well known for a lot. We've learned a lot. We've heard his name a lot in what we've been studying, and even in just this study today, how he went again and again to push for that convention. In New York is his state, and when he was elected in Congress, again, the men worked their asses off, man. And they worked through illnesses and sufferings and without food and watching people die. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Gouverneur Morris, I remember learning about him too. Let's see, what was with him? He was in King's College, and that's now known as Columbia University. He was around 1771. He was an attorney. He did excellent at the bar. Yeah, I didn't get to study much of these guys after where I'm at now. That's as far as I got. But I remember learning about him a lot early on. And oh yes, you just have to read through these, you guys. I know that, let's see, we've got Robert Morris, George Mason, George Wythe, he's the one that I think it's interesting they did a side profile on him. He was really instrumental. He really took Jefferson under his wing, and he was a member of the Continental Congress and one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. He sat in the Philadelphia Convention of 1787 and exerted himself to secure the ratification of the Constitution by Virginia the following year. For 10 years, he was a member of Virginia's Supreme Court of Appeals, and for above 20 years, sole chancellor of the state. There's a lot on him. James Wilson, a lot on him. I haven't got to, highlight these guys. This is your work. You guys have to do it. Sorry. John Dickinson, Roger Sherman. He's a favorite among many historians. Roger Sherman was amazing. Why don't I see Roger Sherman here? Is that another page I don't have? Oh, come on. Oh my gosh, where are you? I don't have Roger Sherman in here. Uh-oh, D. Girl, you need to check your work. We're skipped a page again. I'll have to add it. Well, like I said in the beginning, I'm learning this with you guys. And also, I'm not really a pro at this uploading thing. I will upload that page once I get off here. I'm not going to do it right now. Charles Pinckney's here. There's another Pinckney here. And then we've got what kind of constitution. This last page wasn't really, there was no questions that were asked for it, but I included it in there. So that was my best I could give it today, you guys. And for the week, I feel good. I feel really good about learning this stuff, even though I don't feel like I'm learning it as greatly as I want to. I'm definitely going to be doing it again because I didn't fill out my answers the first half of this, because I was just answering it along with you guys. So, I got to do it again anyways. So, this is so meaty that I could just see redoing this again and again and just getting better and better at it. And just getting better and better at it. And really I'm starting to see how things are connecting for our situation. You have to have the right mindset to deal with the people that we're dealing with. And you have to have courage. And one thing I wanted to say about this week and everything I've been studying, I wanted to share something I was reading this morning in my own reading. And I'm in 2 Samuel, and I think it was like around chapter 26. And it's these guys, and they're named out. They were David's warriors. They were David's warriors, and they're named for what they did. And I want to just encourage you warriors, especially you warriors that are really beaten down and really, just tired. Just want to encourage you to stay in the Word. I don't care if you're in the Old Testament or New Testament. It doesn't matter. You're in the Old Testament, they're constantly having to fight for their own land, fight back evil, warriors fighting, constantly fighting. And in the New Testament, they're fighting for the new message, the gospel message, to get it out there. And they're constantly getting their asses kicked and going to prison. You know what I mean? It's like there's but blessed are the peacemakers. There's all kinds of warriors in this fight, is the point. And so, I got to see where it was. I'm in this, my friend Wayne got me this Bible years ago. It's an awesome Bible. It's an archaeology Bible. And this morning, there was several things. I was like, wow, that's so cool. Wow, that's so cool. And, but this one passage, I just wanted to share for sure. David counts the fighting men. It's right after David's Absalom, his son. And and that's another thing. I was reading about that. How the whole thing with David and Bathsheba happened, and his household was just always in upheaval, right? Because of that sin. And here it is. It's in 21. It's chapter 21. Anyways, and after David's son was killed, he goes around weeping throughout the house, my son, Absalom, my son, my son. And his warriors, Joab particularly, his chief officer, is super, like, just pissed off. He's like, David, you're going around acting like you wish we died instead of your son, because his son was a little punk and went and just took all his father's concubines on the roof in front of the, he was trying to take half the kingdom. So, I need to get to a different chapter here. 21. So anyway, so David went out and, and he thanked his men. He changed his attitude and everything, but it just got me thinking, like, wow, that could have been perceived as so weak. And he was remembered as such a warrior and valiant and everything, but he also had so much upheaval in his home, and it was prophesied by Nathan the prophet that would happen. Because remember, he went to him and he was like, oh yeah, there was this guy and he just had this one little lamb, and this other guy had all these lambs, and he came and just took that lamb, and what do you think about that? And David's like, he should die. And Nathan's like, that's you, because of what he did to Uriah the Hittite, Bathsheba's husband. So anyway, this is the part I just thought, because I was thinking about this, and I was like, remember earlier this week I was trying to remind you guys, our names are in the book of life and will not be blotted out. That's a promise. That's in Revelation. We're reading about all these stories. Do you ever think and realize that your name and your story is going to be in here? And I just thought, this is really cool. I wanted to just read this to you. When the Philistines were at war again with Israel, David and his servants went down and fought against the Philistines, and David grew faint. There Ishbi-Benob, who was one of the sons of the giant, the weight of whose bronze spear was 300 shekels, who was bearing a new sword, though thought he could kill David. But Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, came to his aid and struck the Philistine and killed him. The men of David swore to him, saying, you shall go out no more with us to battle, lest you quench the lamp of Israel. Now it happened afterwards, there was war again with a battle with the Philistines at Gob. Then Sibbechai the Hushite killed Saph, who was one of the sons of the giant. And there was war at Gob with the Philistines, and Alanheim the son of Jerah-Ogam the Bethlehemite killed the brother of Goliath the Gittite, the shaft of whose spear was like a weaver's beam. Yet again there was war at Gath, where there was a man of great stature who had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot, 24 in number, and he also was born to the giant. So when he defiled Israel, Jonathan, the son of Shimei, David's brother, killed him. There were 4. These 4 were born to the giant in Gath and fell by the hand of David and by the hand of his servants. Be that supporting role. If you're not the one in the limelight, that's okay. I've been looking to get behind whoever wants to be, going forth, being that little David. I don't really want to be the David, but we all have to be little Davids anyway, don't we? Hi, Indy. Good to see you, love. We all have to be little Davids anyway. And there have been times when God has given me that kind of courage to do what needs to be done, and I'll go do it. That's the Spirit of the Lord on you. I don't always feel like, going walking right in the middle of a lion's den. It's not my favorite thing to do. I'm definitely not into doing that. I'm not into causing trouble. But here I am, Lord, send me. I'll go where you say go. This fight is all over the place. It's so hard to stay focused. The children are being abused in every direction I look, and they need a voice in every area. So, all I can do is just keep trying to learn myself and keep trying to encourage other people to learn. And, God will let us know, and we will know. When that trumpet sounds, we're going to know. Don't worry. Hey, this weekend I'd like to do a stream on global lies. I've got a few videos in mind. By the evening time, I'm finding that I'm so wore out. I don't really want to chat much, but I would be happy to do like a watch party. I want to do one on the Titanic, um, the Beatles, the Paul McCartney thing, and the moon. Wouldn't that be fun to just like go into all those and watch some stuff? And then maybe if people want to chat in between and afterwards, if you want to keep it rolling in that way, I'd be down for that. But I just can't. I'm exhausted in the evening. Girls getting to bed by 10:30, 11, and getting up when the sun is up. It's nice. It's summer. It's warm. It's beautiful. I want to go play, 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 play. Yeah, wouldn't that be fun? I'd love to have you there. Maybe we should connect, Indy, and maybe you and I should start streaming together. Any of you guys that want to stream, and I need support to get on. It's like I monologue enough in the morning with this show, and by the evening, I'm tired. I'm tired, but I got all kind of opinions. I just don't feel like getting on and bleeding them all over everybody. I like dialogue. I like debate. Everybody seems to be tired. If you want to do that, let's do that, Indy. I got your number. And you got my number. I would love that too. So I also really do want to start doing this study by Nancy Missler. This was an old study I did almost 30 years ago, Be Ye Transformed. And I think it would be a really great study for us Christians who've been around a while. This is meat. This is not milk. The gospel's milk, baby milk. You need Jesus. Your sins are forgiven. Ask Jesus in your heart. Repent. Get baptized. Blah, blah, blah. I don't mean to sound so, make light of it. I'm just saying that's milk. Meat is when you go into depth and you really study and you're tearing apart a Bible, and you're going through archaeology and you're lining up and you're studying through a Bible. This is my Bible of 30 years. I mean, I've got my notes in here. Like I love to mark it up, man. When I first got it, I never wanted to even write in my Bible, but I got all my favorite stuff in here, and I don't feel like one to really teach. Like I ain't no pastor, but I'm a minister like everybody else. I'm a whosoever. I testify. So I pray for our country all the time. I pray for Humboldt County. I'm praying right now for all of you that you are healthy, that you are just enjoying learning and want to keep learning and be effective and be the hands and feet of God, that you're healthy and protected and your family is too, and that God would help our country be united, not divided, and help us to zoom out and see the whole world and to help our brothers and sisters all over. In Jesus' name, amen. I love y'all so much, and hopefully I'll be talking to you, Indy. All right, sweetheart. Talk to you later. Everybody, thank you for being here. I really love y'all so much for wanting to learn. You guys are the best. I'll see you later.